Okay, so I don't really appreciate you putting the new BD kid in my class. I mean, I think Dave is going to be a really big distraction to everyone else in the class.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit more about what is he doing in your class?
He can't sit still. He's jumping up and down the whole time. He likes to throw his pencil and crumple paper. He's just a big distraction.
Okay, well, have you talked to him a little bit about?
I have talked to him. He doesn't seem very receptive to what I have to say.
Okay, well, one thing I would recommend is building a relationship with him, if you can. I know it's a little bit tough because he's a newer student. If you can reach out to him, maybe that'll work. I have just started to contact the school that he just came from, talking to them about their his IEP needs, and if they've had a behavior plan like that. Would you be willing to try and build that relationship with him?
I'd be willing to do that as long as he is as well. If he can sit still and behave himself, then I'm okay with that.
Okay. Do you think any other students in class, do you think he's trying to impress maybe a peer that's sitting by him, or do you think he's just...
Well, he's new to the school, and I don't think that he really knows everyone very well, and that might be part of the problem as well. He wants to act out and maybe impress people to make friends, so I think you're right that could be part of the problem.
Okay. I did hear back from the IEP team, now that I'm thinking of in it, and in your math class, he actually does have a learning disability, just with math computation.
Okay.
They said that, he oftentimes would show behavior problems in areas that he struggles in math. So I think that might be an issue with that. So for starters, I would say we should try and build that relationship with them. The next point, I would say, have you talked to any of the other general education teachers to see if they've maybe
I have not yet spoken to them.
Okay, well, I would be willing to do that with you. We could both talk to some other general education teachers, see if they've had any issues with him, see if it's kind of an overlap thing. Have you noticed any reoccurrence of the days of the week? Do you think he's acting out more on...
I mean, I noticed it a little more at the beginning of the week. I don't think he's real excited to come back to school. So I noticed it a little more at the beginning, and then kind of near the end, he's in the swing of it and cools off a little bit. But then when he comes back on Monday, it's all go. He's all over the place.
Okay, and you just said he's jumping up and down.
I mean, he's jumping. He just can't sit still. He's jumping up and down. I mean, he'll throw the pencil across the room, and I'm at the front. He's crumpling his papers up. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Just a really big distraction.
Okay, so one thing that I would recommend, I don't know if you'd be open to this or if you've had any behavior plans at all like that. I know, as we talked about, he struggles with math a little bit. If we could maybe implement a behavior plan, see if that would work. One thing I would recommend is maybe moving his seat. Is he sitting towards the front right now?
See, I tried that. I moved him around. He was in the back at first. I moved him right by me, and I moved him away, and it didn't seem to change his behavior when I moved him around.
So none of that is working. So what you're saying is we should probably come up with a different behavior plan other than this.
I think some kind of intervention.
Okay. Well, one thing I think we could do is we could count maybe the time of the day that he's doing it. So you said during the earlier in the week he's mainly displaying these behaviors.
And in the morning is worse.
In the morning?
Then when right before we're getting out of school.
Okay. And then what about during the exact class period of math? Is he?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a little more increased than math. I mean, in math, there's a higher intensity and higher frequency of behaviors.
Is it towards the beginning of the class period, or is it when homework, or
it's normally when I assign homework and they're working on individual assignments.
Okay.
Maybe he's frustrated now that I hear he has a learning disability in math.
So one thing I would say is I'm going to keep communicating with the school that he just transferred over because he's only been here for about 2 weeks. I would say we're going to try and implement a behavior plan if you'd be willing to work with me on that. We can count the amount of times we need to count the amount of times that he displays behavior, and I'll be in, or a pair will be in, we'll be writing down and documenting.
So you want to do like a frequency recording on an interval, so the amount of behaviors that occur?
Yeah, so we'll start with that, and you can just stay the same, just teaching. We'll just take some data first.
Okay.
So we can kind of pinpoint when the behavior is happening. I mean, I know it's tough teaching when he's doing this, but
I have had to remove him from the room as well. When we're doing this, do you want me to just kind of bear with it and keep him in the classroom?
Yeah,
see?
If you could, just because we're not sure if it's an escape or avoidance or if he's trying to impress a peer. We're not exactly sure on that. By the look of his IEP and the struggles in math, I think it might be more of an avoidance thing. Mm-hmm. He could also be doing it for peers' attention, but if we can start with that, then I think we can go from there.
I think that's doable. are we gonna do some type of reward system, or what are we gonna do? Do you know where this is all gonna go? Or
Yeah.
start move kind of thing?
So let's start with the frequency. When we can identify when he's doing it, the time of day, well then I'll pull him out. We can have you involved too, since it's mainly happening in your math class.
Okay.
We can implement some type of reward thing that he likes. I know he really likes basketball.
Okay.
So if we notice,
Good then.
how many times a week would you say he's displaying these behaviors?
How many days?
Like how many times? How often do you think he's off task? Like per your class period? Since
Per
he's just
50-minute period, probably 20 to 25 times. I would say somewhere around 20.
And then is it every day? You said, or
It's
it's
been
worse?
every day, but it's worse. Probably about 25, 20 on like a Monday, and maybe 15 to 20 by a Friday. So it does cool off a little bit. But
Okay.
It's still, it's too high of frequency for me.
Okay.
To put up with
Yep.
that.
So what I would start with, what we should start with, I think, is we'll start with just giving him basic rewards. So if he's displaying 20 to 25 minutes earlier in the week, we can start by when he's only displaying 5 to 10 minutes of these behaviors. He'll get a little bit of a reward, but it's not going to be the full. Like we're not going to let him go during the resource period and go shoot hoops or anything like that. If we can start with that, and then every time that we catch him being good and start honoring that, I think he'll definitely benefit from that.
So if this works, am I going to be the one continuing this and keeping track of it, or is somebody always going to be in here? Is there going to be a para? Or
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well?
I'm going to talk to my para on that
Okay.
because we both have different schedules right now, and we're just kind of getting set up with this new student that's been thrown into our IEP team. So
yeah, I understand it's hectic. So.
Yeah, so we're just kind of working with that right now. But yeah, I would imagine a para, but for now I'm going to be in here just because he is in my caseload. So
how does he seem with you? Is he pretty receptive? I mean,
he's pretty receptive.
Relationship.
Pretty receptive with me. We're still building that relationship. I feel like I said, that first piece is that relationship. So if we can start with that, and I think we can expand from there in this class. And like I said, we'll start with the reward system and work from there. And then once we get his behavior pinpointed, and we'll have a pair in here working with you, and then hopefully he'll stop displaying his behaviors.
Okay.
So if we can both work together with that, I think we can resolve this issue. Again, he is new, so you got to bear with us for a little bit as we work with him. So, but thank you for coming to me with your problem instead of talking to someone else first. I'm glad to hear about it.
Yeah. I appreciate you taking the initiative on that too, and you seem like you really want to make a difference.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.